Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Ben Creech here, and welcome to Daydreamers, a podcast where we talk to people on their dreams or doing something they're passionate about or some kind of goal. Today, I am with OinkerBob.
Heyo.
How you doing today?
Pretty fantastic, honestly. Everything considered. Been working from home recently. What we'll talk about today isn't really my day job, but been fortunate to do that. How you been?
I've been doing good, things happening and all that. In the midst of this.
Sure.
Yeah, but I've been doing good. So, I want to talk about your name, because I always wonder about the name. The name was really good, I think. It rolls off the tongue, it's easy, and it's unique. But, how did you come up with it?
Yeah, I kind of lucked out on that, honestly, because years later, when I actually wanted to use it for stuff, like you said, nobody thought to ever use that. But to make a long story a little less long, my mother is a teacher at my high school where I grew up, and one year, some of her students who were about to graduate, I think that was like the spring of their senior year or something, they got a few gifts for her, and one of those was this stuffed pig that had like a stress ball inside him or something. That they had named OinkerBob. They even had a little paper nameplate underneath him. They snuck into my mom's classroom, and placed him in there and all that. And when I was a kid, I'd always see that when I came over to my mom's classroom after school and such, and I thought it was a really funny name. So fast forward to when I was like 12 or 13 and just starting to do stuff on the internet, I was deathly afraid of using anything remotely near my real name, which honestly is pretty wise in a lot of circles now. But I wanted to sign up for, as ridiculous as this is, the Uncle John's Bathroom Reader newsletter. I'm
sure. Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people listening are familiar with those books where they're just, I gotta poop. I've got nothing better to do. Let's read this and not the soap ingredient. But yeah, I wanted to sign up for their newsletter for some reason, but I didn't want to use my real name. So I was just thinking, you know what? They're just gonna send me an email blast. I'll just appropriate the name of that stuffed pig, OinkerBob. A couple weeks afterwards, I get a letter in my parents' physical mailbox addressed to a Mr. OinkerBob. I didn't realize that they sent a physical newsletter as well as it was back in the days when people would actually read those. And the name just kind of stuck from there, and I've been using it on all my gaming accounts and now Twitch pretty regularly now.
All right, so that's an awesome story, because I remember those bathroom readers too when I was young. Yeah. And what's also funny? My mom's also a teacher, so that's...
Dang.
There's a lot of things you pick up, staying at the school with your mom or something like that as a teacher. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, got it honest. My mom and my grandma both did. So if in some case, if I had to do some after school something or other when I was in elementary school, I'd be kicking it with her and playing I don't know what, it wasn't Mavis Beacon, but it was some odd typing game or something that was on her computer in the classroom. Those days.
I remember playing the Lego game, the Little City game. Adventure game, a long time ago, and then RuneScape. Those are the two games that we would play, my brother and I, staying after school.
Nice.
Those good times.
Yep, for sure.
So how did you get into like YouTube and Twitch? Well, actually, let's talk about YouTube first, because I think you got into YouTube first.
Yeah, just dabbled, honestly. Never had like a real solid schedule or anything like that. And matter of fact, that's where I met your crew long time ago. Like I know it was definitely before a lot of people started using Discord, because that's how I collabed with some of your friends. Started to. I think it was like 2014 or something or other. But around that time, 2013, 2014, I started just making YouTube videos that made me giggle. Most of them were gaming related, because that trend. I had some ideas that I thought would be pretty funny, and that trend was not completely died out just yet on YouTube. So I put together a couple series of that, and you know one series that I've put on there, but I don't know if it's if it's kosher to talk about on here. But
Oh no, you can talk about it. It's fine.
all right, yeah. So just a little lead up for your audience. This one's a little zesty. All right. What got me the most laughs and most giggles were my set of 3 or 4 videos reviewing porn parodies. Yeah, I don't know how I dreamt up of this, but I'm just like, you know what? As long as they don't ban me, that'd be hilarious. So started out with looking at a series of like 3 or 4 different Star Wars parodies, and of course I was real careful about it too. Didn't include any clip of the production that included anything close to hanky panky, you know. Right. And matter of fact, I think I could look in the if I cared to look in there, I could look in the actual upload too. But on the the video I did for the Wood Rocket parody of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think I had a little MS Paint animation trying to describe what was going on in the end scene of that one.
I remember that, honestly.
I don't know exactly what it was, but I think I just stacked 4 turtles on top of one another or something. It was zesty, but nah. That got a lot of giggles, and I had some fun doing that. After I did like 3 or 4 of those, though, I'd kind of trailed off from YouTube, because I was doing obviously graduating from college and trying to find a job, all that jazz, and had to move back home for a little bit to work, which in that situation, I had the most bootleg of bootleg internet setups. I had to tether through my phone, which I had a grandfathered actually for real unlimited plan from Verizon at that time, but it still burned out my phone regardless. On an old copy of PDA Net, so you definitely couldn't do a whole lot of uploads or a lot of streaming or anything like that. I was lucky to play what little bit of World of Warcraft I did back then. But then about a year into that, in the summer of 2018, I moved away from home again, and started working at the job I'm at now. And I slowly got back into making some funny stuff, etc., etc. And that just led me into this new adventure, which is cooking for people on Twitch. I guess that's something that may have come as a surprise to you, Ben, since we talked last.
Yeah, that actually did inspire me, because I saw you live stream once, and I was like, oh, I'll click on, and I was like, wait a second, he's just cooking on live stream. And then I enjoyed it, and I was like, wow, didn't think I was gonna enjoy someone cooking on a live stream.
That's what surprised me about that too, was because I'll completely level with you. I didn't go to Twitch like hardly at all before this because 90% of just plain old gaming streams are extremely boring to me. I can't place my finger on what, but I guess it's the logic of if I wanted this experience of just chilling out playing a game, I could do that myself, kind of thing, or something
Yeah,
like that. I don't know. Um, that certainly didn't understand the logic of people donating to that or anything like that. But and then I started going into like pretty lower categories, not your Valorants or CS:GOs or nothing like that. But I had started to notice that the creative side of Twitch was getting a little stronger because they were starting to push more IRL related content and all that. And as I was flipping through those, I noticed that the food and drink community over there, the cooking boys, not only are they consistently making this entertaining, and just in my eyes, but they're the most chill, friendliest, nicest people I have ever met on the entire internet. Like they're among them. They're on that tier.
because they're
And
very, very genuine when
oh
they do.
yeah, like no kidding, dude. And the people on my now stream team Bone In, I above just lurking with them in chat or something like that. I've added a couple of them on Snapchat and we talk fairly regularly now. It's the wildest thing. Um, but no, after I watched a little bit of them, I got to think. I got to thinking I might want to try this for myself, and a couple buddies of mine were like, "Hey, we kind of want to watch you cook a steak anyway." So I fired up the old Twitch account that I'd only sporadically used until then, and set up a webcam and got to frying a steak, and just kind of my journey just kind of went from there.
So talk about your team, because I never heard about that team, and I honestly just forgot the names, like bonus or something like that.
Bone In, yes.
Bone In.
So, matter of fact, they actually got formed little after I started cooking streaming because as I tweaked my streams to make them a little flashier and a little sleeker and all that, I started watching other people, and J- Jason Sipe over in Washington State was one of them, and that's where I initially got the layout that I wanted and just made that up myself. And I started watching a few other people, and this guy in Vancouver, his username being Chef de Party, he'd built up quite a following doing what he does, doing his thing, and he'd gotten in this position where he was organizing a few events among the cooking people on Twitch, and eventually he decided that he'd just go ahead and form a Twitch stream team, as they call it. Um, pretty much in Twitch's terms, it's a way to cross promote people, but in our terms, the team members' terms, it's just a good way to meet others and collaborate and stuff like that. So I was actually one of the first members he invited, and I'm just like, oh wow, I peak at 10 viewers at best. I don't know what this is all about, but I'm grateful all the same. I'm ready. Let's go. Um, and we've done a lot of great things since then. Uh, a big turnout for the St. Jude Play Live charity event that Twitch puts together every year. We ended up throwing, I forget what number it was, but we ended up raising a big chunk of change for that. And as part of that event, we released a cookbook. A lot of the streamers that I'm adjacent to are gearing their content more toward cooking education and simpler meals that you could do with basically staple stuff, because a lot of people are in because of COVID right now, and just now starting a lot of them are just now starting to cook for themselves a lot more. Uh, so so a lot of people on Bone In decided, you know what, it's we'd be doing a public service if we geared more toward teaching people, how to not cross contaminate stuff, and food safety, and teaching people how to chop onions, just stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, it's been a great journey, and I'm really excited to see what I do along with this stream team and with the friends I've made thus far.
I feel like you guys need to like come together like after the COVID-19 is kind of died down, and just
Hmm.
do like a competition, live stream that whole thing. That would be really fun.
Oh, dude, yeah. It's funny you mentioned that. We'd actually planned on doing like an unaffiliated meetup around San Diego, because a lot of people were planning on going to TwitchCon anyway. But um, even though they haven't canceled that, a lot of us are understandably wanting to avoid California like the plague right now.
Yeah.
Myself included, frankly. But no, that's still definitely in the cards. Like I said, a lot of these guys are just real down to earth and real friendly people. Um, they they'd taken me in with open arms, and we're all real chill together. So I'd like to meet up with them regardless, whether it's content related or just a friendly gathering.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm having these ideas in my head now. I'd love to talk to you guys about that. Like with a competition, that'd be a good thing. Do like a charity competition. You guys all come together in some kind of place that's kind of in the middle, and
Oh, dude,
we
yeah.
live stream it and stuff. We raise money for a good cause. That'd be
Yeah,
good.
that'd be matter of fact, I'm making a note of that right now. they're all they're always thinking about charitable streams and stuff like that. Um, but yeah,
Oh, and you know what would be also cool? I don't know
what's
why. I'm
that?
just. It'd be also cool if we actually have like we can make a deal with a city to host it, and then they have actual people come up and taste your food, and if we can make it to like a competition, well, the top person will be able to donate to his or her cause.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that'd be kind of sick. Actually, we do have a few, or actually several of the people on Bone In are sous chefs.
Ooh.
So a few of them, they know their stuff. They know about that presentation and all that. Jason, I was talking about earlier, he's that by trade, and he does Twitch live streams and stuff like that, and some education now. But no, I imagine if two or three in our group, if it came down to it, it was like, no, I'll be a judge. That'd be entertaining as hell.
You'll taste some great food too.
Yeah, you're right. Or whatever slop I come up with by comparison. It's always okay. The one wild thing about this is that I uh, in this corner where I'm streaming, I'm in league with some super super talented people. Like I'm talking the Juilliard of chefs, of a few of them, and I'm just sitting here like, oh hey, I wonder what will be crazy for this stream. I know. Let's bake a whole pack of Pillsbury biscuits inside a cast iron skillet and pour gravy over it and call it a biscuit gravy birthday cake. Because why not?
I see that too because I see like their kitchen setup. I'm like, wow, that's actually like a professional kitchen.
Yeah.
And then I see your kitchen. No offense, but I'm like, ah.
Yeah. It's just a little galley apartment kitchen that I'm actively trying to destroy for content.
Hey, but you know what? You're gonna win. I believe that. You're gonna make something like very like heartfelt, and people will be like, I feel it. I feel the love.
Yeah. The heel that becomes the face, as it were.
Yeah. So.
God.
So like, do you know how they? Oh, what?
I thought it cut out for a second.
No.
Oh, there we go.
So. Were you there about the team name? Like them coming up with the team name, or did they come up with it and then ask you to join? Is that what happened?
Chef actually came up with it, but like I said, I was one of the first that got invited. I think there was like 10 or 15 of us, and it's just kind of grown from there. We got a lot of good stuff coming on, got a lot of good press, and a few others in the food and drink sphere on Twitch wanted to join up, and they're doing some great things with the team. And actually I convinced a couple of them to come on, and they killed it with one of the charity drives we'd done in the past. And it's, like I said, it's just been a good time.
I'm sure, because I see, because you can honestly see the genuine passion that people have when they're live streaming that. Like even you can feel it. You guys cooking, you're having a good time. You get this. It's wow.
Yeah, that's see the thing that I feel about it is my rationale behind it is the viewership and stuff, having a lot of meat in the seats, and the subs or whatever, that's just a great icing on the cake for me. But that part doesn't necessarily matter. Just having, I feel like it's like having 5 or 6 or 7 people in my kitchen just chilling out while we're having a laid back dinner party or something like that, you know. We're just talking about different subjects, and we're laughing and having a great time. And that's why I've continued doing it. It's because it makes my regular cooking or meal prep just that much more fun, you know.
Yeah. Man, it's just kind of mind blowing, because I'm thinking about it now. How live streaming you cooking has just became something, you know.
Frankly, I didn't think it would either, and this quick too, because I know when you're doing stuff on the internet, whether it's making content for YouTube or entertaining people on Twitch or what have you, I'm sure you know this full well yourself, Ben. It takes a lot of networking and a lot of hoofing it, and a lot of times to get even what little position I'm at, and what little audience I've got. And it's just surprising to me that I'd gotten here as quickly as I did. But man, it's just been wild. And on top of that, the gaming community that I've been a part of for forever is killing it. We've actually set up a Twitch channel ourselves, just showing off us playing games and such. We've got a few events going on as well here in the next few months that we're gonna live stream and all that. It's just I'm surprised that my buddies and I have been slaying it, but it's just been great.
Yeah. So what's your new like gaming Twitch stream? Like, what do you would call it, and what's the channel?
Oh, my channel where I do mainly cooking stuff is OinkerBob, but I w- in terms of that little gaming community, I was referring to Bane Shroud, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I'd met a couple guys in college, right, who had run a few servers before I met them under the Bane Shroud name. I met them. We became great friends, and that community that we had built around Minecraft, and one of them, he's actually my mod. His WoW guilds that that he's put together, and it just kind of grew from there into just a. It's just a great group of folks to hang out and play games with and talk about different subjects and stuff. Um, and here recently, um, we've been expanding our efforts through Twitch to use that to drum up support for cool events going on right here in the future. Couple things that are still in the works. I can't really talk about those, but I'm really excited about it. But one of them being a big CS:GO tournament. They were gonna run. They were hoping to run mid July or late July or something like that. We did one last year, and it was a riot. We streamed that on the Bane Shroud Live Twitch channel. Those few matches, and it was just hilarious. But we're pulling out all the stops with this next tournament, the Bane Shroud Invitational. It's we've got some knowledge under our belt now, and we want to make it really slick and just a great time for the competitors and the viewers.
So tell me how you got into gaming in the first place.
Oh gosh, that's I can't remember exactly. I do remember being gifted an N64 for Christmas. That was like the first console or anything really that I'd had. Um, I was passed down my brother's old Game Boy, but it didn't. I had some fun with that, but didn't really catch on. But mostly at that age, the platformers got me hooked really good. Um, and I rather not the one that you would expect either. I don't know if you'd remember this, but there was this Ubisoft developed game underneath Disney's production house or whatever called Donald Duck Going Quackers. Like not even Super Mario 64 or any of the kind of things that you would expect, but it's just that got me super hooked, and it just went from there. I always loved action games like that, platforming elements mixed in. Assassin's Creed, super big into that just style of stuff. Obviously, their story has gotten a little wonky, and I can hardly follow it anymore as an old man. But the gameplay is still really good. That's the kind of stuff that I mostly like. That and playing you know what's now, I guess it's called hero shooters with friends, like Overwatch and stuff like that. Just that social aspect has gotten me has been a more of a draw in the last few years. Um, but yeah, that's how I'd started out. And like I said earlier, I didn't necessarily want to put out gaming stuff on YouTube or Twitch necessarily, because my philosophy is if that's not the kind of content that I want to watch, it's not the content that I want to put out. But I'd made some little tweaks and stuff on YouTube, especially that I finish rendering on Vegas or something like that and go, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That's gonna be great. And that's my philosophy. If that's not if that's not the reaction I have, I don't upload it.
Yeah, that's how I turn around on my content too. Is like I have to find it enjoyable as well before I can put it out.
Mm-hmm.
Just enjoying some Dr. Pepper here. Go Texas. Anyway, we are self-sponsoring this episode. Go to shop.spreadshirt.com/RopeTreeProductions for awesome merch. We got t-shirts with various designs. All profits during the COVID-19 pandemic will go to the Central Texas Food Bank. And if you don't want to support us, we got a neutral design called Fook, which is Vietnamese for lucky and blessings. That way you can still support a great cause while looking stylish and ready for anything that may come. Again, that is shop.spreadshirt.com/RopeTreeProductions. Thank y'all. Now back to the episode. So, how do you get into PC gaming? Because I know you started off as a console, and I started off I played RuneScape and that Lego game, but mostly I was a console, PlayStation and stuff like that. So how did you get into PC?
That was actually fairly late, like mid-college, I want to say. I think I may have met Cactus and Trail, two of my good friends and two of my Twitch mods by that point. It might have been a little earlier. I do distinctly remember that the first thing that I put on that PC was League of Legends. That first tower that I built. Because I played Minecraft and stuff on a big old honkin' 18-inch seemed like 4,000 ton Toshiba laptop that I've actually got it sitting over there on my coffee table, and trying to sell it for parts on eBay, because what else am I gonna do with my time right now?
You can make it mine Bitcoin.
Oh my god. That little poor thing would probably explode if I tried to get one pico Bitcoin. Good lord. But yeah, I guess I'd started out PC gaming a little earlier than that. Minecraft mostly on that laptop or whatever, honestly, that it could handle. I did try to emulate some stuff on it and tried to play League at 12 frames per year. But I think it was like early 2012 when I built my first just standalone PC tower, and it was over from that. The world was my oyster. My eyes were open to a bunch of stuff that I'd never experienced before, that a bunch of guys were giggling about for years at that point. Like, yeah, I'd played some Civ 3 and enjoyed the heck out of it on my parents' computer, but there wasn't hardly that much PC stuff in my palette, But like that first rig that opened up a world of possibilities. I at that point discovered what Gmod was, which that was a ride in itself.
I don't know when I discovered Gmod like that. Wow.
What in the heck is going on here?
Especially when you don't have Counter-Strike, the first skins and stuff like that. You're like, whoa, I can't see what's that.
Nope, not a lick. And that, as you alluded to, led me to actually install Counter-Strike, and that started another branch for me. Playing League at a reasonable frame rate got me interacting with a lot of people on the internet and spending way too much money on skins, but we're not going to go there. And it got me way more involved in the Minecraft server, the Baneshroud Minecraft server in particular, because like I said, it was just that period, like late 2014, 2015 was just an incubator of a lot of things, like right place, right time.
Yeah.
I had the equipment to play and meet all these people, and eventually help out that Minecraft server as an admin and now a moderator, um, and step up my editing game in terms of videos and stuff like that. It it was just a good time overall, and I learned quite a bit um, as a result of building that rig. Because I that's around the time I changed my major to computer science and learned that holy crap, there's a lot of stuff I can do with the hardware that I just put together. Put together virtual machines to test this and that, and run and putting together web services and stuff like that. And it was wild that I can actually attribute me making a kind of a kind of a splurge decision on Amazon to a lot of good things that came about in my life.
So, like, with computer science, is that what you stick with your like job right now? Without going into too
Yeah,
much detail.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually a web developer by day. Um, real crusty old architecture though. The website's in PHP and an old version of that. That's a whole nother subject entirely. But yeah, that's what I do by trade. And like I said, just getting into that field has gotten me a lot more hobbies in my free time and stuff like that. I aside from gaming, I play around with different stuff in Python and learn C sharp and a few JavaScript frameworks just to keep myself fresh professionally. Just work on a couple side projects, and I'm like, I kind of want to do this, and I kind of want to have this thing working for me. So why don't I just make it? So that's about it right there. It's just been great overall. Good way to learn stuff.
I feel like you had a similar journey to my brother, because how like you going into games, and from games you start to find something you're passionate about as well, and that becomes your career kind of.
Yeah, like tertiarily, if that's even a word. Yeah, that's kind of what how that happened. I thought to myself for ages upon ages that I wanted to go into aerospace engineering. That's it. And as soon as I built that rig and started doing a couple things on the side, I'm just like, what the hell am I doing? Let's pop over here, and see what the grass is like. And let me tell you, in my personal experience, that grass is pretty sweet. Just from the real close tight knit friends I've met alone, not to mention the other stuff that we talked about. Which let me tell you this. Let me tell you this though, Ben, and anybody listening, um, don't be afraid to change up your plan. um like not to say doubt every single plan you have. That's that's kind of defeatist, and definitely not what I'm saying here. But if your gut is telling you that the path you're on right now is not something that you're about wholeheartedly, and you think that this branch over here is what you want, go ahead and do it. Um, as a matter of fact, I kind of kick myself sometimes because I didn't take that other branch soon enough. But I'm glad I did all the same.
Yeah, I feel that too. I'm at a crossroad where, well, me is more like a little. I have to be more realistic because of the job
Yeah,
market.
fair.
But
Hmm.
it's more of like you can't be afraid of changing it up, to do stuff in the future that you want to do.
Yeah, definitely. I would have, like I said, and that's the thing on this path that I've taken. I've met a whole lot more people that just click with and are my people. I know I've stressed a lot talking with you about my people, but that's I found later on in life that's a big priority to me. And in retrospect, I found that path with the mechanically oriented dudes, the aerospace engineering dudes, those people, while they're real personable, that crowd just didn't click with me. This one over here did, and it's been a great decision for me, and got a lot of value out of meeting them, and just real great people.
Yeah, I feel like you find true great friends when you're doing something you're passionate about and you share that with them.
Definitely, for sure.
Um,
And even it doesn't even matter, like, skill level or anything like that. It's just, I mean, we're myself, Cactus, and Trail, professionally are all on pretty different paths ourselves, but that skill set doesn't particularly matter. We just got together, we just gelled really well, and the other friends around them, we all just gelled really well, and that's the part that's important.
yeah, it is. I think that's how Pac and I, because we kind of had a shared connection, and then, well, he invited me to Discord, and then bam, I met you and all the other people, and you kind of
Yeah.
I don't know, gaming is just like that.
Yeah, just a real sociable and chill place, honestly. Yeah. You don't have to. That kind of extends on my point. You don't have to be super elite extra no scope, to to hang out with any of us, or frankly any of your guys over there. Like, and you've probably, I know you've seen or played with us over in Bane Shroud a few times. We joke around that when we get in a competitive quote unquote shooter and do some quick player comp matches like that, we joke around that our rank is like Wood 3 or Mahogany Master, or something dumb like that. Like, we ain't nowhere near anything in terms of skill level, a lot of us, but it doesn't matter. We're just having a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
that's what I for one want to bring to the Bane Shroud community, and also want to bring to my own personal cooking streams. It's just like as long as you're having a good time, and as long as you're, yeah, if you're having a good time, progressing in your craft is great, but making sure it's something you want to do is paramount above that, in my opinion.
Yes, yeah. I completely agree with that. I
Hmm.
remember doing a video, kind of, I know we're getting more off topic in a way,
Oh yeah.
but I remember doing a video with you guys, well, just playing with you guys. I think it was a video, I don't know if you guys were recording or whatever, but it was us, playing competitive, and we would just follow on CSGO, we would just follow the chickens, and then we just protect the chickens.
I don't. I'm not remembering that one, honestly. I do remember, back a little while ago. Trail, one of my mods, Hylian, a community and staff member over at Bane Shroud as well. Myself, think you were in the call, and Trent, one of your buddies. We were all playing Overwatch together. This was way before they had a competitive league, I think.
Oh yeah.
And we were still killing it in the game and all. We Frankly, I don't even remember what was going on in that, because a certain video I put together was was a couple clips from a dramatic reading that Trent did
Oh
of one
yeah.
of my favorite erotic novels to meme about in existence, which is entitled Dick Parkinson's. And I love how that novel just gives away the punchline of the whole thing because it's exactly what it sounds like. And I like I said, that's the kind of thing. If you're joking around and just having a good time with it, that's all that matters because that's where the that good the creme de la creme comes in just either socialization or more narrowly in content is when is even if things mess up, if it's entertaining, that's what matters. Matter of fact, I again little moving around a whole lot, but that's a lot of what my personal streams are built around. A lot of the audience is just like, oh my gosh, how's he gonna screw this one up? and and one of my sub goals is me just smashing a bowl in the middle of my kitchen. It used to be these really ugly as sin ceramic bowls that I would pick up from Goodwill, but with a lot of them being closed still because of COVID, times is tough. So I got me some plastic bowls over at the good old Dollar General.
Oh, the best place to get stuff.
Oh yeah, it's amazing that they've still been open, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
But I could get eggs and milk and sometimes a roll of toilet paper over there, even in the worst of the supply chain madness. It was wild.
Man, I all the Dollar General stores that I'm me is like very crowded, so I don't even know how they can. Well, I mean, it's more like a really compact, really small stores.
Yeah, I don't get how they kept stuff either, but
Yeah,
props to them, I guess.
yeah, honestly, yeah. Um, Before we get too out there, because we can probably talk all day, all night.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to bring it back to what made you want to cook in the first place, other than, well, I guess you have to cook to survive on your own. But like,
Yeah, not really sure honestly how that came up. I think it was just I got the little bit of idea to just do that on my channel, and I'm sure if Cactus or one of them over in Bane Shroud that were in the call with me could correct me on the lore because I'm a little fuzzy on it. But I think it was just my Twitch channel. I just kind of had it there necessarily. I wasn't planning on doing anything with it. I would do the sporadic gaming stream, and then just not. But sometime last April or last part of March of last year, I decided, you know what? I've got this webcam, and I've been watching a couple of these cooking streamers just flipping through stuff. That kind of looks fun, to be honest. Let's set that up myself and just see where that goes. Again, not even thinking to hardly do anything with it. Um,
just
and
because you
so I
wanted to
did.
have fun, right? You just
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I had a ribeye steak over in my fridge anyway, and my buddies were like, "Yeah, I would love to see that." And like I said, it just went from there. Um, and that's kind of just how it started. Was just me fooling around in the kitchen. That's and that's all. That's what it's always been.
yeah. Talk about your setup.
Oh, right. So that's evolved quite a bit, um, surprisingly rapidly in the last year. So I've had this Behringer mixer over here that's sitting next to me for quite a while. I wanted to use an XLR mic, but I also wanted to prepare myself for having multiple mics in something because a while ago, a couple of the guys over in Bane Shroud that I talk with pretty frequently were like, we kind of want to do a podcast, and then we moved on to other ideas from then. But I I was just like, you know what, I kind of want to have that in the pocket just in case I want multiple mics. So kind of looked out there. Um, Over in the kitchen, I used a serviceable but pretty shoddy in retrospect audio setup for quite a while, which was I would hook up I would hook up on one of these XLR ports into a VHF, I think it is, receiver, and I'd have one of those lavalier mics, not like the real compact ones, but the ones that stick on your belt, and I just have the mic clipped onto my lapel or shirt or whatever, and that's how I kept audio as consistent as I could. The problem with that was I quickly discovered that with an analog signal like that, you get a lot of interference if you try to pass that signal through metal. And in the kitchen, you've got my stovetop, my oven, my microwave, the cast iron skillet that I'm smashing pans with every Thursday night. So that would cause a lot of audio interference, and while it wasn't enough to bug a lot of my viewers, a couple people in Cactus, one of my buddy and one of my mods, he was just like, you gotta figure out something with this, because no matter where you move the receiver, right, it's keeping happening. So I got back on the drawing board, worked around a little with that, and I finally settled on a shotgun mic, um, which is a little different than what I'm talking in right now. It's just a regular like microphone, looking microphone like you'd use to sing, and stuff like that. It's what it does is instead of picking up like a little bit in front of it, you know, um, it'll pick up in this cone. Uh, it'll pick up sound in just a cone, and just go for quite a bit of distance, which was plenty long enough to pick up sound throughout the entire length of my kitchen. So I hooked it up and set it up at the end of my kitchen, and that's worked like a charm ever since. So that's audio. In terms of what I use just to, as far as computer and all that, I could just run that through my regular gaming rig. Granted, when I do gaming on occasion on my Twitch channel, I have to cut some things down to like 720 or something like that. But that, like I said, that's not much of a priority for my content, and a lot of my viewers don't doesn't particularly matter to them because a lot of them have to keep their resolution low, because of their network anyway, and they're mostly just they're mostly just there for me and to watch me cook anyway. So I'm fine with cutting down the resolution for that. But yeah, I just hook up a couple webcams into it. I've got these USB extenders because my computer is here in the bedroom, and I have to run like 30 feet of cable
Wow.
out the bedroom door and into my kitchen to get everything set up. Like 30 feet of cable per thing. So got this big long XLR cable going out there, and then the two for my couple webcams. It looks kind of crazy, and I'm surprised the poor old maintenance man that had to come in a few months ago didn't look that puzzled. But
Like, what is this?
yeah,
Like, what are you doing?
yeah, but that's generally the
Yeah.
setup. Other than that, oh, and I also have just some speakers popped up out here so I can hear donations and stuff like that too. But yeah, that's generally it.
Do you have like something like a monitor or something that displays the chat, or do you just like use your phone or something?
My phone and my Chromebook. I have Stream Manager up on the Chromebook, and I've discovered uh, pretty pretty soon before I started cooking streaming or right afterwards. The Streamlabs app came up with this handy update where they'll just give you a remote where if you scan a QR code on your it displays on your Streamlabs desktop application, it'll allow you to control scenes and your mic and everything from there. So that's come in super handy for a lot of cooking streamers, myself included. So I can just flip to my BRB screen, flip between cameras. So for example, I've got a picture in picture set up where my main cam is here, and up in the top right hand corner is the stove cam that's looking at whatever I'm frying up or cutting up or baking or whatever. And I can just flip between making that stove cam the main screen and the other over here picture in picture, just stuff like that. And that's again another small incremental tweak that I've made was just making new flashy scenes that I can just flip to on a whim like that, you know?
So you're saying that you use Streamlabs OBS?
Yeah, Streamlabs OBS, yeah.
Oh, man, I didn't know that. So that's a new feature. That's great, honestly. I wish I could learn that right now, but I'm using regular OBS. But I'm gonna have to change then, because damn, that's really good. Having everything in your phone and just being able to, wow.
Yeah, it's really convenient, man. And if you're familiar with OBS, you're going to be very familiar with Streamlabs because, like, you probably know this, but OBS is an open source program that whoever actually owned Streamlabs before Logitech bought them out, they just wrote a couple tools on top of it and refactored and stuff, and branded it as a separate piece of software, basically. But yeah, they just keep adding neat quality of life stuff that a lot of them coincidentally help a ton with cooking streams.
So when you talk about cooking streams, how do you get into the mindset to do it? Do you just like, well, I have something to cook today and just set it up, or do you just like, do you plan? Do you?
That's how it started out initially, because I first off did a lot more streams on a regular basis than I do now, and frankly than I should have, because even though it is quite fun, there's a lot of I'll get back into this a little while later, but you gotta have a lot of energy stored up to do a stream, and that's a lot of times that's just not particularly me. So I cut back to like a week, but yeah, initially it started out as me going, oh, I've got to do some meal prep or something like this. Let's go ahead and stream it and see who pops in. Later on, I wanted to do a specific time slot for meal prep on Sundays, just because of scheduling and stuff, and that didn't necessarily work out. And then later on, I kind of evolved into, let's keep making the dishes crazier and crazier, because as I mentioned earlier with you, it's pretty entertaining to my audience, and the most entertaining to them when something messes up. And so I would continually brush up my chops or whatever, and get more challenging dishes together to cook. Hoping something would hoping something would fail spectacularly half the time. A lot of times it didn't. And although a lot of other crazy things happened as well. Like one time around Christmas, I had some like a string of lights hanging up on my microwave, and I ended up almost deep frying them while they were plugged in. So that was fun. But yeah, that's just kind of how it evolved. And then the latest, I've done a couple themed streams as well, like around a cosplay that I'm doing as like a stream reward or something or other. I had this big old bowl of ramen and tempura and other crap when I did a Goku cosplay, for example. I'll do those on occasion. And then later on, I started when channel points hit. I started doing a viewer's choice stream where people can spend like a pretty substantial chunk of points, of channel points, just earned from watching my stream, not even paying or anything like that. And if they're around chat that long, I'm like, yeah, let's cook something for them. Why not? And through those, and I'll do one every month. Like I have a queue of like three of them up right now. So not not this coming Thursday, but the next Thursday, I'll, for example, make some sushi, different kinds of sushi. Last time, I think it was a rack of lamb that I roasted. The first one that my buddy Cactus suggested was beef Wellington, because it's apparently that's the baseline test for a lot of chefs, or at the very least Gordon Ramsay's baseline test, where if you could put this together pretty well, you've got the basics down for cooking, essentially. So that was one of the more challenging and frankly one of the more fun streams that I've done. But yeah, that's just how I decide what to cook. I know the second Thursday of every month's a viewer's choice, so that one's blocked out. And then the other 3 or 4 days of that month is up to me. I have plenty of time, since I do one cooking stream a week now. I have plenty of time to plan around and do stuff like that. And of course, special event streams like the cosplay streams that are more themed, those get narrowed down. So I've got that planned out, and that's how I do it now.
Yeah, any advice you want to tell people who want to get into YouTube, Twitch, and specifically into live streaming cooking?
Um, any advice that I have for live streaming cooking is pretty applicable to other forms of content. Like we talked about that. First off, you're gonna have a way better time if you put out content that you enjoy yourself. That's why, like I said, that's why I don't do a lot of gaming streams, because I enjoy cooking on Twitch a lot more, and just that atmosphere around it. So do do what you enjoy. Second, take the time to plan out what kind of content that you want to put out. Like I said, as I evolved through cooking streaming, I got a little bit more rigid schedule, albeit not as hectic and with as many streams, which I'll get into in a little bit. So make a rough outline of that, so you won't get lost, and you'll just be in the moment when you're making whatever you're making. And three, take some time for yourself. And this one is super important, whether you're making stuff for the internet or not. Um, I know from experience that I got a little bit of a high from all the people coming in, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta do way more streams a week. So I bumped it up to 2 a week, and then I did 2 a week, and then my meal prep streams, and it just um like I know 1 2 streams a week might not sound like a lot to people, but like I said, it can take a lot out of you, and you got to keep in order to keep keep yourself putting out entertaining stuff that you want to put out, and the people that come into view or leave comments or whatever entertained. You got to take care of yourself, and that's a really big goal, personal goal for me right now, is to take better care of myself, both physically and mentally. That's frankly, that should have been the first point, that first lesson to take away from this that I mentioned, as important as that is. Um, but yeah, that's what I would suggest. Honestly, that's gonna take you a long way there.
Yes. I when I came back and I saw you streaming and stuff like that, it inspired me to stream. So I started the stream and I started doing it like once a day. I was like, oh, when I have time, I go stream. And yeah, it takes a lot out of you.
It
Like,
sure does. Yeah. It's not even that you don't like the people that's coming in. Nah, that's one of the most fun parts of it for me, to be honest. But it's just like, back to that analogy of having a dinner party in my kitchen, for instance. Having one of those a week is quite a lot of fun, and all that stuff. But when you start doing that uh, almost constantly, and just having like 10 or 15 people in your kitchen gets tiring after a while. I'm gonna I'm gonna just be honest with that. And exactly, like, it's not that you don't want to, but as long as you keep a regular schedule, like I do, um, keep keep to say I keep the Thursdays, for example, and then some little event streams that I tweet about that are just on occasion, on a whim. But if you keep to a regular schedule and keep to an amount of streaming or video making that you found that you can handle, your audience is still going to be there. That should never be a concern to you. Your first concern should be your health. Um, Matter of fact, that kind of leads me into something that I'm going to be doing here soon. Actually, tomorrow is the start of my a charity campaign that I'll be doing for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. They do these charity walks every year that I make a point to either participate in or just support monetarily. And I found out that there's a way I can do it through Twitch to where the money goes straight to them if somebody donates. So I'm going to start doing that all through May into like the first week of June, for example. Um, and that's how big I believe in taking care of your own mental health, and helping the world make people more aware of taking care of their mental health and researching how to treat people more efficiently. Um, and that's like I said, that's the most important thing. Yourself first, and then your content. And if you're happy and enjoying what you're doing in whatever you're doing, whether it's short films or streaming or what have you, the people are going to come. That shouldn't be a concern.
yeah. I deal with a lot of like I deal with mental illness, and you have to make sure you're alright first before you can do anything, because otherwise it's gonna suffer everything else.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know that for a fact. That's why I had a I wasn't doing that, and that's why I had a basically radio silence last August, because I I don't know that I don't think I've talked about this publicly, but I won't dwell on it a whole lot. But I was actually diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder a while ago.
Dude, me
It's
too.
seriously,
Yeah, really.
gosh, yeah, it's very it's mild on it's mild at sometimes, but
Yeah.
when a lot of stuff gets piled up, like I said, either through external circumstances or you trying to push yourself, that just exacerbates the symptoms, and it's just like any other disease. Like it'd be kind of silly to treat somebody that has chronic migraines, for instance, and be like, oh, it's fine. You don't need any kind of treatment whatsoever. Um, it's just like, no, you need to get that checked out. That's how you need to treat a mental illness as well. So I've done that. I've even before I started streaming, I grinded at that, tried to understand, along with professionals' help, what was going on, and um, I just it just went from there, and I got a better feel for myself and what I need in the moment, and that's done a world of good for me and the people around me. Um, that's why I say taking care of yourself is a priority.
Would you say also, because I found that works for me, is having a structure that uh, doesn't overwhelm me, but having that structure helps me too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Because you because you kind of know, I figure, with that diagnosis, your the Moodle stuff comes in a vague structure itself.
Yeah.
So you kind of I've kind of learned that I have to plan certain things that I'm going to do in my downtime around that. Um, granted, there's not really a cure for what's going on with me. Just some things to help me better manage it.
Yeah.
But it's about that structure. You gotta to make yourself to keep yourself well balanced, and to keep yourself doing the things you love to do. You got to plan around that. Like for example, when you're filling up, when you're feeling on the up and up, grind in Vegas, plan out new videos, just take advantage of that opportunity. And when you're not feeling that too great, do not feel guilty in the slightest to scale back. And that's what I've done a few times in the past. I've just scaled back to just my Twitch streams once a week, and I've keep some people updated through Twitter and stuff when I can, and people, and even regardless, they're just going to be like, okay, that's totally fine. We enjoy what you do, and we know you're going to be back. So don't feel bad at all, and you shouldn't, honestly. That's just another aspect of caring for yourself in order to keep what you're putting out fresh and interesting and good.
Yeah, and I want to add something, because to me, I when I get those lows, I completely isolate myself, and I just give up on doing whatever I'm
Heard
doing.
that. Yeah, yeah. I've I've
Yeah,
been there, done that, Ben. I get it.
yeah, and I want to say that try your best when you get to that. Yeah, scale back and everything, but try your best to at least do something.
Yeah, yeah,
Eh,
for sure. Like that's why I said scale, not
Yeah,
completely cut off. That's you want keeping your mind still active during any period, whether it's a cyclical one like with bipolar disorder or depression or something like that. Keeping your mind active, and as well as your body, which, as hot as it is in Tennessee, and with
or
and
Texas.
with or all the parks, half the parks closed, is a little more difficult. But it's well worth the effort. I
Yeah,
assure you. Trust me. I've been through a lot of different ways to alleviate and figure out what's going on. So you can trust me when I say keeping that active goes a long way.
Yeah. And getting help that you need.
Definitely.
So if you feel like you even have something like this, reach out to your doctor and then reach out to a therapist. That's what
Like,
I.
that's one of those. That's just one of those paths.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned before, when you feel something ain't working and you feel this other path in your gut is what you need to do, go do it. And getting help with your mental health is that path that you need to take. To be honest, that's what your gut's gonna more than likely tell you, and that's where you need to go. That's one of those paths that I'm kind of kick myself sometimes for not taking sooner, but
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly elated that I've done it all the same.
Yeah. Like listen to your gut, not your mind.
Yeah, definitely, because I can tell you the alternative is pretty rough.
Oh yeah. I don't know. We should not go into detail, but it's really bad. Man, this live stream, not live stream. This podcast is really turned into self help.
Yeah, but that's still an important thing to talk about, because like a lot of that's the whole point of half the point of the AFSP, the organization that I'm going to be running a charity event for. Half the point of that is just awareness, and encouraging people to get with somebody, whether it's a trusted friend or relative or professional, depending on need or something like that. It's completely okay and well and good to talk about that kind of stuff, because it's still horrendous. That's still horrendously stigmatized, and it's kind of messed up, because like I said, you wouldn't treat a migraine or a busted toe like that. Just walk it off. You gotta take care of every part of your body.
Yeah, definitely. You're right. The stigma is still there. You just gotta, because I know when my journey of it, I thought it was just something like, oh, I'm being lazy or I'm doing this or something like that, but I couldn't escape from it, and that's when I started to realize, oh, this is something that's actually bad, and then I had to talk about it. I had to get through that point where I was like, okay, let me talk about it, and it was hard to talk about, and because of the stigma that was there, and you just find out, you talk about it, and then you get the help, and mine was really late. I'm sure yours was kind of late too, you would say, right?
Yeah, like a lot later than I should have done it. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, it's just that again, and if more organizations like that are doing what they're doing and are supported in the methods where they need help to do what they do, the message will get out there that to the point where a lot of more people will get what they need and talk about the things they need to talk about a lot sooner. And that's why I'm participating in that charity event, among other reasons.
And you're going to be doing this every week until the first week of June?
Yes. I'll be. So how it works is a developer has put together this plugin for Twitch, basically called Tiltify. It severely simplifies the process of running a charity event for a live streamer, because you want to make sure that all the money that you're donating, or rather, all the money that people were watching your stream or donating to the charity goes straight to the charity, and that's what the Tiltify plugin facilitates. The AFSP has their own profile on the site, and they're running a charity on their account right now for May. I don't remember what it's called, but since May's Mental Health Month, they're doing a big charity drive, and so I linked my account, linked the Tiltify account to Twitch, found that charity drive, and just linked that to my Twitch account. And you can see that directly beneath the stream or on mobile, wherever you're at. There will be this little Tiltify panel. And if you so choose, it's completely not required in the slightest, but it's something. But I wanted to go ahead and just throw that out there because it's something I'm personally passionate about, and I haven't done a charity stream in a while, and those are really fun. But if you so choose, you can click the little Tiltify thing and do a donation right through the plugin. You don't have to leave my stream or anything, or I think it has a pop-up for authentication purposes. But yeah.
So what time will you be doing it on Thursdays?
I stream on Thursdays starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time, so 6 p.m. Central, and I've got a couple other unplanned streams in the pocket coming up this month too. I like to announce them as secret streams on Twitter with flashing lights and the little police siren emojis and all that. But those are a little more laid back and not cooking related. But I want to do a few more streams other than my just regular cooking ones to support this charity drive. So keep on the lookout for that. If you're interested in popping in on my channel, I'll be doing a lot of good stuff this month.
All right, so we've been going on pretty a while, and kind of want to end it on one like a little happy note.
Yeah.
Go check out his stream, on Thursdays and stuff like that. I'll leave all the links in the description below. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, go to the YouTube channel. Check him out. It's a lot good, and actually, it's both of us. It's a personal thing that we believe in, and so having the help out there, the wellness for that issue for mental health, is a good thing, and I would really recommend everyone checking out the stream if you can on Thursdays. Other than that, anything else you want to add before we end this?
Not necessarily. It's been great talking with you. Oh, one other thing, I do also do some streams on the Bane Shroud Live Twitch channel. That's the group I've been a part of for quite some time. I do some little event streams on there, and we also do regular WoW raid streams on Sundays and Wednesdays, and we're gonna do some placement matches for CS:GO on that channel as well. So keep an eye out there. But yeah, it's been great talking with you, Ben. It's been a hot minute.
Oh yeah, definitely been a hot minute. But yeah, it's great talking to you too, man. It's great talking to people, especially after a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
We should definitely keep in touch and do stuff. If I can cope in any way with the live streams, let me know. I'll definitely have to pop in and help in and just have a good time.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. This will be season 1, so we might catch up again in season 2 if you're up for it.
Oh, beautiful. I know you've got quite a bit in the pocket for your channel, so I'm gonna keep an eye out for sure.
I think we're gonna do a charity live stream too.
Oh, nice.
We just have to set it up with everyone. The scheduling is hard,
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, again, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it, and it was nice having you. It was nice. We had a great conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem, man. Take care.
You too. And real quick, like I said, all the links are in the description below on YouTube. If you listen on Spotify, go to the YouTube channel, and you can find all the links that we need to find. Check out his stream and all that. And yeah, you guys take care and have a happy trails.